Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Mixed Text and Politics. If you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. All right, let's get started here. Texas Governor Abbott promises to pass ban on transgender college athletes this year. This is fantastic news because there is no reason why a man should be able to compete in women's sports. In his clearest sign of support for specific legislation aimed at the LGBTQ plus 123 community this session, Texas Governor Abbott said he wants state lawmakers to ban transgender athletes from competing in college sports. Speaking in front of a Saturday gathering of the Youth America's Foundation in Dallas, Abbott pledged that the Texas legislature will soon pass a law requiring transgender college athletes to compete according to their sex assigned at birth. This next session, we will pass a law prohibiting biological men to compete against women in college sports, according to Abbott. And this is great news because it says thousands of bills are typically filed every session, but the governor's support will dramatically boost likelihood that this or something like it will pass. Now, he did something similar in 2021 where he banned it at the high school level. Now, this goes beyond that and banning at the college level. So we won't be seeing these NCAA sports with men competing and women here in Texas. Won't happen. Of course, not everybody is in support of this. We have people from the left who are complaining about this, as they complain about everything else. Ricardo Martinez, who leads the LGBTQ plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rights group Equality Texas, said Abbott's comments openly alienate trans people who already encountered so many obstacles. Okay. Sports are an important part of lives of so many young people. They teach young people about teamwork, persistence, and sportsmanship. This type of legislation would ban trans athletes and leave them without a way to express themselves in sports. I don't know. Let's keep going here. The governor's pledge for this session, first reported by a Texas Tribune, came at the end of extensive remarks made about the current state of play regarding transgender athletes. He mentioned professional surfer Bethany Hamilton's recent decision not to compete against transgender women after the World Surf League changes policies to open up competition, and without naming her, also brought up Texas-born swimmer Lisa Thomas. That's just not right, Abbott said of Hamilton. He later added, women and only women should be competing in college or high school sports, as well as representing the United States of America in our Olympic sports. Now, I agree with this 100%. Now, my question is, look, I don't know if this is in the works or in talks or anything like that, but why don't they make a sports league in high, if they want to go this route in college and high school, make a transgender team or competition and let them compete against each other. If there are a bunch of men that want to identify as women and vice versa, let them play against each other and then let them have it on the basketball court, in the swimming pool, football, whatever. Because that way you could have people that think they're something else competing against each other. Instead of women, a man who is much stronger than a woman, a man who is 6'5", 190 pounds, playing against a bunch of 5'4" women in basketball. It's not okay. And I don't understand why the left doesn't understand this. You have this guy saying, well, they can't express themselves now in sports. It's going to alienate them, and I don't agree with that. I like common sense law. To me, this is not a left or right thing. This is common sense. But of course, the left has gone way to the left, and they're putting this woke agenda in our schools, at college level and high school. But I'm so glad that conservative, Republican governors across the country are getting behind this. We see in different states across the country, and I'm glad Greg Abbott did this at the high school level in 2021, and now moving on to the college level here in Texas. We need to make. I saw a comment somewhere, and it said red states need to make it very uncomfortable for liberals to move to. And I've actually read stories about people leaving Texas because Greg Abbott is too conservative. He's too right wing. It's what somebody said. Of course, Greg Abbott is not. He's not as conservative as maybe Trump or DeSantis on some issues, but he is more conservative than somebody like Mitt Romney. I put Abbott as kind of middle of the road. He leans more to the. Here's the middle. Abbott is kind of just over that middle part. He could be tougher on some things, but I still think he's gotten better over the past year and a half or so. He's been pretty conservative on a lot of issues. We see it with constitutional carry and he and him fighting illegal immigration, and now we have it with this banning this transgender in sports, and his abortion law is very conservative. Restricting abortion here in Texas, that was a very conservative move. So Abbott has been pushed to the right, and his economic policies are great as well. Now he's not perfect. I have my issues with him, but I think we're seeing things from Greg Abbott that support the conservative agenda. And I think that's the way to go, is to make Texas more red. It just keep passing these laws. Keep passing these laws that are that support conservatism and promote the things that we voted for. Instead of trying to play the middle of the road, and you're gonna lose a lot of voters that way. Trying to go in the middle of the road and make everybody happy. Stand on your principles. That's, to me, that's the way to go. If you stand on your principles, you will get a lot of support. As we saw, Abbott won in a landslide. He was also going up against Beto, which played in his favor as well. But you keep the red states more red by passing conservative legislation and keep the liberals out of here. And turning to California can do what they want to do. As we see with prostitution, it's now hard for police officers to to go after prostitution. We see them selling themselves in front of elementary schools and things like that. We see this people allowing lawmakers allowing homeless people to sleep on the streets, and just a lot of things that liberalism does, which destroys communities. They're soft on crime. They want to take over the oil industry, get rid of the oil industry, and go green with a bunch of windmills and things like that. What are you gonna do? Put a windmill on a plane? I mean, come on now. You need oil. You need big oil. You need oil. You need these things to make our economy run and our country thrive and prosper. Now, look, we see that the red states are getting more red and the blue states are getting more liberal. And that's fine. You guys do your thing, we'll do ours. I feel like we've become very divided over the past couple of years. And I honestly don't see it changing anytime soon. We've been divided as far as what we believe in. That's what I'm saying. What we believe in has become very divided. People get along for the most part, but our beliefs have become so divided we can't even have a conversation with anybody anymore who doesn't think like us. So yeah, it's a sad reality, but I think this is the reality that we're facing going forward, at least for the foreseeable future. But kudos to Greg Abbott for getting this done, or going to get this done, and just keep passing this conservative agenda. Keep Texas red, safe, prosperous, and free. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.